of Tiumba
We say fix the country.
Hope Foundation. And then James Anabiga, the Right Honorable Speaker
Tell me who be the country.
for the Upper West Regional Youth Parliament.
Fix yourself.
I'm curious.
Kala kala.
What exactly is the Youth Parliament about? I'm very curious.
Fix yourself. Fix the
All right.
now.
These are people who have identified a problem
Who be the
and
country?
they are
Tell me you
making efforts to fix it.
fix yourself.
Maybe small.
If
We start fixing our own small corners.
fix yourself.
We'll get there.
Ale,
But only heaven knows when we'll get there. Lady and gentlemen, you're welcome to the Morning Star here on Star 103.5 FM.
Thank you so much.
All right. Good to have all of you. First of all, Mulumba, you take the first question, I suppose. Tell us a bit more about IC4C.
Okay, thank you so very much. IC4C is an abbreviation which means the Informed Choices for Change. Informed Choices for Change, abbreviated as IC4C. So they did say long ago that a society whose young men and women are in a constant state of slumber will never realize their potential. So it's inherent on us, we as young people, to come together. All these people you see are people who own youth-led non-profit organization and are doing tremendously well in terms of social activities, advocacy, and name it. So we came together to form the Informed Choices for Change under the bigger ambit of NORSAC, which is a national non-profit organization to make advocacy on issues relating to sexual and reproductive health information and services in Ghana. So all these individual organizations are youth-led organizations that came together to form a coalition to make a lot of advocacy on issues of reproductive health information in Ghana and across.
Okay.
So that is who we are. We are a coalition of a lot of youth-led organizations. Our numbers are growing steadily, and you can only get better from here.
Fadila, tell us about reproductive education.
All right. Thank you so much for having us this morning. So reproductive health education is crucial to ensure that young people understand reproductive health system, and as well be able to take informed decisions about their sexuality or their sexual life and fertility, and as well to also include whether they want to have children or not.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that is reproductive health and so what do you think is not being done right in relation to that area, reason this group was formed?
Okay, so with our series of stakeholder engagements, both at the regional and also the district level, we have deemed it right to have a national stakeholder engagement to give an insightful information about our engagement with the stakeholders, and as well young people, adolescents, and then women. So we believe that something can be done about it, especially with the delay of implementation of the policy, sexual and reproductive health, and the adolescent policy.
Okay. And James, what kind of explanations have you received with regard to why this policy has delayed in terms of its implementation?
Thank you very much. Good morning to all listeners.
Okay.
A lot of we've not received much of explanation as to why the policy has actually delayed. All we know is that the policy has been formed and then it's awaiting implementation. For quite some time now, we've not heard anything about its implementation.
Okay, James, sorry to interrupt you. Kindly join Fadila over here. The microphone is not working. So kindly join Fadila here so that we would hear you better. This is still the Morning Star here on Star 103.5 FM. Yes, so so yes, just shift and then have the microphone in the middle, and you can shift it in between you. Thank you very much. So I asked whether you had gotten any explanation with regard to why the implementation of the policy has delayed.
Okay, so to the best of my knowledge, we've not had any explanation as to why it has delayed, and that was even the main reason for which we embarked on this exercise. And one of it is to find out what has caused the delay in the implementation of the policy. And of course, we ask what has not been done right at as Ghana Education Service. And if you check our curriculum, you would realize that reproductive health education, there's no much attention that is given to it. In those days, if you were there in those days, you realize that even when the teacher is teaching, when it gets to reproductive health, the person just brush over it, and they think it is not necessary. And even those days, they think that, oh, these children, why will they be the need to teach them reproductive health? But it's very important in our days because the fact is that the world has changed. And if whether we like it or not, if we don't teach them rightly, they will learn it the wrong way, because we have access. They have access to our phones. They have access to the internet. They can learn those things in the wrong way. So it is very important that the Ghana Education Service and all other stakeholders, Ministry of Education, ensures that this policy is implemented, and at least reproductive health education is taken very serious, not just from the upper level of education, but right from even the lower level of education.
Can you tell us a bit more about some of the issues you've identified when it comes to reproductive health education, some of the main problems? I heard you talk about instances where lecturers or teachers just brush over the subject, and then they feel like as though the people are not at the right age and stuff. That is one of the issues you've identified. Are there any others that you've identified?
Yeah, so I think one of the issues that we've identified is just maybe parents think that there is no need to even teach these children.
Okay.
And it is not news, and it's not something that is a revelation when you see how parents treat their children. Even when a child mentioned a private part, you realize how the parents will pounce on the person and shout at the person. But the fact is that they have access to these things.
Okay.
And that is where we go wrong. And now concentration is more on other subject areas, neglecting the reproductive health area. And the fact is that no matter how brilliant you are, no matter how you perform academically, if your reproductive health status is not good to write home about, even your own psychological trauma can draw you to the gutters. So that is why there's a need for us to actually look into this. Some think there is no need. Some who have been asked to teach, when they go, they brush through it. And others think that it is actually linked to, it's going to spoil the children. That is what others think. It's going to actually spoil the children. And I have said on several platforms that, and I mentioned it earlier, that look, the country we are living now, the children we are giving birth to, the fact is that if we don't teach them the right thing about sexual health, they will learn it the wrong way, and we are the same people who will suffer it.
Now, to you, Mulumba, what exactly has the group been doing so far in relation to the subject?
Yeah, so we've been doing quite a lot across northern Ghana, and even in some places in the southern part of Ghana.
Okay.
So as young people who are very much interested in issues of reproductive health, we've in the past organized both local district conferences, stakeholder engagements to engage and solicit views of stakeholders to see how we can refine, the policy. And outlisted in what speaker said, which I would like to add, is the fact that we've identified that look, it's important that some key reviews be done to the policy that's already existing. That's making this reproductive health education a standalone subject because of how important it is. Key recommendations that they should increase the age they should reduce the age from 6 to 4, which is also very important. And then we have organized a lot of pad donations, distribution of menstrual, caps to people across communities, and organizing education programs for girls on how to maintain period, issues, how to maintain their sexuality, how to maintain very good health practices, and then, be sound and focus in their education. A lot of mentorship opportunities, and then, all of our volunteers have mentors among girls in rural communities, to mentor them on these very critical areas which affect their total well-being. all these things are in a move to ensure that, look, young people, young girls are more focused with their education and they are living the life that is right. We intend to do more, and as you are seeing, we left all the way northern part of Ghana to be here for this national, engagement. This particular policy does not just affect northern Ghana, but it affects all girls across the country. So we are interested in the total makeup in the reproductive health segment of Ghana and even the world at large.
All right. Let me end with you, Fadila. You have a stakeholder engagement coming up. Tell us about it briefly.
Okay, so for the past days, we've been in Accra here, engaging the various stakeholders to give them an insightful feedbacks from our engagements, both the districts and the regional engagement with them. So so far we are making headways because we are getting more feedbacks from the various institutions, and they are as well giving us that attention to we coming together to address it and then look at the way forward. And so just to add up to what Speaker said, with some of the challenges that we're confronted with is that in the northern part of Ghana, there are still a lot of challenges surrounding reproductive health that most people do not pay attention to, especially in the area of parents to child conversation around reproductive health. And then as well, looking at the traditional and the religious perspective of leaders trying to open conversations around that, just to be able to give young people the opportunity to express their views and also knowing their sexuality and knowing their bodies.
All right.
Right.
Okay. Thank you very much for joining us here on the Morning Star. So I was joined in the studio by the team members of IC4C, that is Informed Choices for Change. And I was joined in the studio by Songsore Mulumba, is the Executive Director, Necessary Aid Alliance and Team Lead, and Fadila Husseini. She is the Executive Director of the Tiumba Hope Foundation, and then James Anna Biga. He's a Speaker, Upper West Regional Youth Parliament, and they have been shedding light on what they have been doing so far.